This segment is sponsored by the West Michigan Home and Garden Show, underway through Sunday at DeVos Place in Grand Rapids. Raise your hand if your lack of organization is slowing you down. It takes twice as long to get anything done. Please note that my hand is raised, okay? Good news, though, because Kate Wirt is here from Moxie Life Organizing. She's a headliner at the Home and Garden Show with advice for organizing outside the box. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Catherine. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so glad to. It has to be true that clutter and a lack of organization slow you down, right?
It's true. I think that we all struggle with our stuff. And it's just starts to bog us down. We lose things, we get frustrated because we can't find them. And sometimes it's even difficult to relax in our own homes.
I'm always telling myself, invest the time to get organized. That does take a chunk of time, but in the end, it saves you. So, but you say there's not just one way to get organized. What does that mean?
Well, we have different clients of different walks of life, and our approach has to be different. And that's one thing, the traditional organizing methods of setting out the boxes of donate, keep, family and friends. Some places we can't make those decisions because we've lost inventory. We don't know how much of everything we have. Maybe there's things we go treasure hunting and we find things. So and also the term decluttering is very off-putting for people. So we create a value system and talking about mostly what's most valuable to you. And those can be your belongings, and it can also be, your quality of life. Maybe you want to spend more time with your grandchildren. Maybe, you want to be able to focus better on your career. So we want to start there from the beginning, and some of those other items that maybe you thought were important, maybe they're not as important as you thought they were. Again, with different approaches, we work with busy professionals, burnout boss babes, pressured parents, and it feels like we're working overtime. So trying to teach some different ways of breaking down those big projects into small, achievable tasks is basically what the foundation of the work that we do. And for the seminar, you want to give them some place to start.
So let's motivate folks. I know that you say you need to cast a vision. And so I guess that's what you're just describing, sort of deciding what you want to create out of your life and your stuff, right?
Right, correct. Yeah. So casting a vision is really, for me as a single parent, I don't need to be quote unquote perfectly organized. I've got to be able to embrace a little chaos. However, I want my home to be manageable, and I want to be able to spend more time with my son. I don't want to have projects around me constantly saying I have this long to-do list of things I need to do. That takes away my energy from my family and what matters to me most. We're getting stuck and we're going through items. That's something which we always want to bring it back to this vision or this why factor. Why did we start in the first place? What was the purpose? All right, let's keep going back to that, because organizing is work. It is hard work.
And I know you say that there are tangible and intangible values to consider when going through your stuff. So explain what you mean by that.
Well, the tangible items, that's something I tell people. You get a lot of outside and even some inner negative self-talk telling you, I should really get rid of my greeting cards because maybe somebody is telling you, and we do this great, this thing in our brains where we tell ourselves, if I throw away a greeting card, I'm throwing away a person. But when somebody tells me that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe let's not worry about the greeting cards. They don't take up much space. Are they making you anxious? Are they making you uncomfortable or causing conflict in your relations? Are other people just telling you should get rid of them? So maybe those are important to you. Or mom's china that's stored away in a box in the basement and you're not using it, but it is important to you to hold on to that. So talking about some of those items and what is most valuable to you. And as we work our decision-making brain on other easier items, there's always the opportunity to go back to those items when you're ready.
At what point do you get professional help?
At that point of overwhelm. And that's usually 99% of the time when people call, they're at that point and they need a partner in the project. They need a second set of eyes. And I even have my organizers come in and help me. I need
help too. Well, that makes us all feel better. Folks, you can see Kate on the stage during the Home and Garden Show throughout the weekend. Tickets and show times are available at grhomeshow.com. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, Kate. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.